who represents law, divine judgment, sacred geometry, divine mathematics. Maat also symbolic of the mother, or what we call the mother code. You see? And so when we go and we look at some of the elements, well, let me take this up a little bit. We're in the lecture now. Let me take this on up. All the elements of governments are symbols of the woman. So when you talking about the symbols of government, we talking about the throne, we talking about our set. We talking about the throne, we talking about our set. You talking about law, you talking about Maat. You also when you talking about the crown that the goddesses are set and Nebhet also crowned the king. So all these elements, and when you're talking about Maat, not only law, but court, the supreme court, the spiritual supreme court of the African afterlife, where all souls had to come through the spiritual supreme court of the goddess Maat, where their heart was weighed on the balance, on the divine balance of Maat, and that you see that the heart had to be as light as a feather. It wasn't like in no goddamn Christianity where you can be a nasty motherfucker all your life and do crazy shit, and then you can damn say, Jesus, please forgive me, and that your sins was forgiven. No, you didn't do that. And so whatever is in the heart, you understand what I'm saying? That's how you judge what's in the heart. And and so this is and this is spoken of in many times in the Bible, also the Quran and the Torah, you see. And so you see here we are reading, and this is from the gods and goddesses of ancient Egypt. I don't have the cover today because it's lost in all this 1,000 slides, you say. And so when they talking about, it says that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1, I believe it was the first verse. Having created the world by naming all its parts, Ra became king of gods and men. He reigned with his daughter Maat at his side. Maat was the personification of truth and justice. She was depicted by Egyptian artists as a woman wearing an ostrich plume. Now, it's very critical that we understand that this was an Ethiopian ostrich. So many times when you studying and you looking at the zoo types also, because the zoo types are real critical in identifying the origin from where the knowledge came from. You see, so when you understand that the ostrich, and then when you looking, when you studying on so many levels, and so you understanding that the Ethiopian ostrich, if you look it up on the internet, which I have maps, but like I say, I got over maybe 100 and some lectures, and so I got so many different slides in different lectures, and I have geography showing where all the sacred zoo types of the Nile, and so I understood that that this was an Ethiopian ostrich. And so it speaks to the fact that the origins of the knowledge come from out of the southern regions of the Nile Valley. Come out of the southern regions of the Nile Valley. Okay, an ostrich plume on her head. A picture of this feather is often used as the hieroglyphic symbol both for her name and for the noun truth. The feather was used in the judgment of the dead, when it was weighed in a balance against the heart of the dead man or woman, undergoing the judgment to see if he was Ma'ati, that is, have lived his life in conformity with truth and justice. You see, and so that's very critical. That we had established the first moral code system on the planet by which society and civilization judged individuals. You know what I'm saying? And you wasn't getting away with shit. Your ass was judged, and you shall be judged. You know, nobody's going to get away from the judgment hall. Nah. It says, and I'm going to go down, King in the third paragraph, kingship in the person of Ra and order in the person of Maat came to earth at the very beginning. And that was very critical. Kingship in the person of Ra and order and in the person of Maat came to earth at the very beginning. Thus, the creation of the world was simultaneous with the creation of kingship and social order. And so I brought this up because a lot of motherfuckers say that they evolved from monkeys and all type of crazy shit. And so it's no time where, you know, we were in nationhood from the very beginning. Our people never knew of no other time when they wasn't in any a form of a nationhood, whether it was a small city state. They understood the ramifications of having a moral code. You feel me? That, you know, the people live by so that the society could be healthy and prosperous. You see, if you got everybody doing whatever the fuck they want to do, then you're gonna have chaos. Thus, the creation of the world was simultaneous with the creation of kingship and social order. However, chaos was an ever-present threat to the existence of this divinely created order. Only by practicing Ma'at could the Egyptians preserve the harmony of the universe. And see, that's where we done lax, because we are the primordials. We are the caretakers of the planet. We are the custodians of the planet. And you know good and goddamn well that this peckerwood is not going to practice no Ma'at. So by vacating your divinely appointed position on the planet, you have vacated it for a vagabond, savage barbarian to assume power. And so you know that there is no harmony in the universe, because you know good and goddamn well that this caveman is not practicing no goddamn Ma'at. We know that. Okay, this belief was the basis of Egyptian religion, and the cult practice in temples was designed to uphold Ma'at so that Egypt might prosper. And so you look down and you see the first spiritual moral system of law on the planet, the 42 negative confessions of Ma'at. It was more than 42. It was more than 42, but those were the most profound, you know, or, you know, the ones that were more profoundly needed on a daily basis. But, you know, in the one of the books of the dead, the Papyrus of Hunefa, it was over 147. You know, and so you can go and find, you know, various scripts that have, you know, different abnormissions or laws to Ma'at. You know, so, but you see right here the 42. And so Egypt also had 42 nomes. You know what I'm saying? 42 nomes or districts or counties. You see? And so a god or a goddess was, you know, ascribed to a particular nome or a particular county. You see? And so you see right here, with the feather in the top of it, and you see the traditions is still here in Africa today. Also, if you look, you know, you see the sister to the right, she got that red ochre, you know, paint on her. And this is the same paint that you see that, you know, the coloration, the brownish red coloration of the ancient Egyptian. So though you see, you know, a reddish brown, you know, a lot of those Egyptians and Africans were actually, you know, coal black. Some of them were brown, but just letting you know that this is a ritualism. You understand what I'm saying? That's being painted, you know, throughout Egypt, and that many of what you see, you know, that was reddish brown were actually Africans. We got to understand the traditions of Africa. with face painting and the symbolisms of the colors of Africa and what they meant. You see, and so a lot of the reddish brown was symbolic also of the sun. You see, also symbolic of the sun and the vibrant fire aspect of the sun. So we know that Maat symbolic of truth, justice, right. What is right. So this is the root of righteous. You see, so when you see a king of Africa sitting on the throne, he's sitting on the throne, but the throne is also a right angle. If you see the right angles, or you understand the square in geometry, you understand that it is symbolic of the right angle, the 90-degree angle, which is called the square. And so when you sit on the throne, you are to rule in righteousness and what's right. Also, Maat means straight, that which is straight. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't crooked. The opposite of that is crooked. And to be balanced, you see, to be balanced and to be sober, but you being balanced with the feather. You're not just you do one good deed and then if you do a bad deed, you do one, a good deed. No, you got to balance the feather. So it ain't like if you do it, so you can't balance the feather. For every wrong you do, you come and do a good deed. You understand what I'm saying? No, that ain't how that works. So you got to be down there. You got to do, in order to balance that feather, you're going to have to do damn near 85% good things. And then you got the other 15, and then you can't cross the line on some wrongs, because some wrongs are so, you know what I'm saying, so hideous that you may never be able to balance. You might throw yourself out of balance for good. You understand? And so you see right here that Maat is symbolic of our African sisters, and it's still manifested today. You see right there one of our great kings, and you see Maat in his hand. He's upholding Maat. You understand what I'm saying? This is what he's doing. He's taking his oath. When he take his oath, he's taking his oath that he's going to uphold the mother code, that he's going to uphold Maat. You understand what I'm saying? And we have to also understand that it's the mother code, understanding what will keep the mother and the child in preservation, in prosperity, in good health, and in good wealth. And so that's the mother code. And so when the king takes the throne, his oath is to uphold and enforce Maat with his life. And any challenge to Maat is to be met with strong, you understand, punishment. You know what I'm saying? And if it's an outsider, it will be met with warfare, period. We must uphold Maat, because not to uphold Maat will bring chaos to the universe. You see? And so we did that one already. We did that one. And so when we looking at also, these are, and there's more aspects of government, and just spiritual aspects. The law, she's the throne, she's the crown, she's also the temple. Neb-Het, which is the sister of Isis, is also called the lady of the house. And the house is symbolic of the temple. But your house is also a miniature temple. You see what I'm saying? As your body is a temple. You see, so she is the lady of the house. So when you look at all the aspects in ancient Egypt that we could prove, we ain't talking about nobody's beliefs. So you can believe whatever the fuck you want to. See, you can believe whatever the fuck that don't mean shit. Egypt lasted for 3,000 years. And niggas can be, whatever they like, they can live to be 100. But that still don't mean shit. When you got 3,000 years of proven experience, you know the ins and outs. You know the downfalls. You know the mathematical sequence of all ideologies and how they failed and how they prospered. You see what I'm saying? And so, when you lasted longer than anybody, then we see there that there is, because you can have a philosophy and it sounds good, put it in practice. And like they say, follow your own advice. And if you can show that your descendants can take a philosophy and prosper for 3,000 goddamn years, then that's an actuality that you can bring forth. But if you're not, you're just like everybody else. You're just like everybody else that got a premise, but don't have the years behind that premise to show and prove if it's gonna last. If it's gonna last. Oh, that shit gonna die out just like all the other ideologies have died out. You see, so the one thing about the African system is that it's proven to be a substantial moral system of rulership that can bring forth thousands of years of prosperity. Okay, when all others have fallen, you understand, or went to the wayside. When you talk about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, they've been goddamn worn. They've been fallen. They have not done anything but bring warfare, destruction, and desolence on the planet. Now, when you talk about the hall of Maat, and you see Maat down there, you see Maat, she's at the entrance, you see the feather on her head, you see the feather on her head, you see the judge. You see the judge right there, Assad, the Lord of the perfect black. And you see he's painted black. You see, and that black was the strongest color of divinity. You see, it was the strongest color of divinity. You see right there Tahuti, the court reporter. You see right there Anubis, who's checking the scale. And you see Horus, who's also right there checking the scale, making sure you get a fair shake. You see what I'm saying? Now, on one of the other papyruses, which I believe which is the papyrus of Hunapa, you see at the top, you can count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in this one is 2. You see right there, you see Isis and Nebhet. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're your 12 jewels. Okay, so the system of court that you see that's today come out of ancient Egypt. You can't show nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? So people, when people think of Egypt, they think of some goddamn candles and some fucking incense, and they want to hide for them. If we should throw Egypt away, to ask the goddamn world why they haven't thrown this aspect of Egypt away. They know it's the earliest and the most construct. You understand what I'm saying? Organized system of waging justice on the planet. And it's still, and you can go in any goddamn nation, and this is the system right here from out of ancient Egypt that you can see, that's based on the mother code, based on Maat. You see, based on the laws of the mother code that if practiced, will bring prosperity and harmony to our society. Why is every nation on the planet, though they don't have the court proceedings in the spirit of Maat, but the system is Maat. The jurors, the judge, the court reporter, the bailiff. Anubis is the bailiff. He the one that bring you in. You know how the bailiff bring the prisoners in, and so Anubis brings the prisoners in. And so he's the bailiff. Let me make sure we're in the house. Let me make sure everybody is in the house, family. Let me make sure everybody is in the house. All right, I'm black. I had to make sure the family out there. Okay, and so even when you're talking about now we moving into when one goes on into the afterlife, this would have been one of the great sarcophaguses, of Tut. Now he had about, and each one was one bigger than the next. So he had, not only did he have 3 sarcophaguses, which were gold, and they were sat one inside the other and one inside the other. These are the what you call the I believe what they call them. This is where the sarcophagus was placed inside. So it's like an ark. It's like an ark. And so you see the four goddesses on the representing the cardinal points, north, east, and west. They're guarding the spirit of the Pharaoh. They're guarding the spirit of our ancestor who's passed on. So they're making sure that the spirit or the soul gets to the afterlife. And so they not only when you pass, you have, and so these are the original guardian angels, just like Ashaka Musa brought the African woman, the original God, the African God is the original guardian angel. So you have the four goddesses protected the shrine. It's a shrine. Neith to the north, Selkis to the south, Isis to the west, and Nephet to the east. Also found in this room were 35 model boats and a statue of Anubis, a god represented as having the head of the jackal. So you see right here that this is the shrine of the boy king, Tutankhamun, King Tut. And so these are the gods. So you looking how powerful, and so they even the spiritual guardian angels that guard the soul on its way to the afterlife, to a mentor, and to heaven, making sure that you get there. You know what I'm saying? That nothing could harm you on your way to a mentor. You see? And so it's very powerful when you look at ancient Egypt without nobody, making any, because people can have all type of mantras and all type of chants and all, without having no historical fact. So when we say the black woman is God, we proving it. Now, if you can't deal with it, that's on you. The facts is still going to remain somebody that can come 100 years, 200 years, that got a stronger mind and a stronger heart that can just look at the facts and judge it for what it is, can see it. Now, where it is today, who the fuck? Because niggas have chosen to live in slavery, okay? And they have devolved, you understand, down to, to the bare nothingness of the soul. And so, you can explain, so you cannot look at the deplorable state that niggas is in today and judge African people by that. You judge, yes, you see, but then you show the greatness and say, look how far you have fallen. And then you look at when you was on top and you see what you was practicing while you was on top, and that's your standard by which how you gauge how to get back to the top. You don't keep looking at the goddamn bottom. You keep looking at, you're going to stay on the goddamn bottom. You feel me? And so these are the highest standards and morals of our people, which we judge ourselves today on how to get back up. Because we in a fucking deplorable state because we have chosen to live in the belly of the beast and make all the fucking, in the gut. We ain't even in the belly. We in the gut of the goddamn beast. You understand what I'm saying? We've chosen to live in the gut of the beast. And so the deplorable state that is representative of that. A lot of people think that they should be prosperous in the gut. And they'll do everything to try to be prosperous in the gut, of another motherfucker. When you become conscious of how great you were, it's almost first nature. Once you understand that you done ruled empires and nations, one of the first things you will want to do for yourself is to remove yourself out of the gut of your oppressor. You understand what I'm saying? Anything less than that is deplorable thinking. You see? Let's move on. Again, this is a clear showing, the goddesses, that's protecting the cardinal points of the soul. And so this is where you get what? This is where you get the Ark of the Covenant. This is where you get the Ark of the Covenant. You see and what is the covenant? The law. Maat. You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about what they placed down in the ark, it was the law. The law who? The law Maat. And so when you see that the angels touching wings is no more than the African goddesses of ancient Egypt, you understand that the law of the Ark of Covenant is a hidden aspect of Egypt that the biblical writers stole, which is actually not no Yahweh handing down. We talking about Maat. See, that right there was some slick shit went on. You see, you ain't gonna find no woman in that goddamn religion at all. If she doing anything, she washing the feet of some goddamn prophet. You know what I'm saying? The only one woman is a couple of women in the Bible that, you know, has some form of respectability. Mary, the mother of Jesus, probably the only damn one. You feel me? Other than that, all the other one, Mary Magdalene was a damn whore, and so on and so forth. Okay, and so we see that the Ark of Covenant is the Ark of Maat, is the shrine of Maat, and that these are African goddesses, and that they done watered it down, they done depleted all of the laws out of there that would have Africans prosperous and added the necessary laws that would keep them on top. You understand? Ain't nobody gonna make no religion to have you on top. Every individual, every race, every nation on this planet create a form of a religion and that will keep them on top. When you go in that religion, you know who created it, because most times than not, the people that created that goddamn religion are gonna make themselves the chosen people, which they ought to do. That's what a real motherfucker supposed to do. If you're gonna create a religion, you're gonna make yourself the chosen race, what you supposed to do. You see? And so whatever needs to be done, you must close your eyes until the mission is complete. And so what does that say? So when you get to you know, to the European so-called injustice system, it ain't no so it is, injustice system. You can see they say, oh, she's blind, and so that she, no, she's blind because she don't want to see that motherfucking scale is uneven. You know what I'm saying? You know, that scale is not even. You know, and so when you got it even, then you know that justice must be served. But if you got the blindfold, you understand? That ain't saying you are impartial. What it's saying is you didn't check to see if the goddamn scale was unbalanced or was balanced, and so you already know that the scale is unbalanced in favor of you. And so the trick is to say, oh, I'm impartial. You understand what I'm saying? I'm impartial to the information. I'm gonna just judge it based on the merit, wherever the information guide me, that's how I'm gonna judge it. I don't have no prejudice. I don't have no prejudice. I'm gonna just judge it based on the information. But no, that's the slick way of trying to fool you. The fact that she got the goddamn blindfold on is because that's her excuse on not knowing that the goddamn scale is imbalanced from the beginning, and it's imbalanced in the favor of the people who are in control of the court system. So when you go in there, nigga, you already know the scale is unbalanced. You already know that, nigga. So but when you go into, you see what? You see Anubis, he check. You see that? He looking, he checking the plumb line. He making sure that it's a fair shake. And so when you come in the European, he knows the scale is unbalanced. He know the motherfucker is unbalanced, and gonna put the blindfold on and act as if he don't see what's going on. And so that's why our peoples is locked up by horrible and unproportional numbers, because again, you have remained in the belly of the beast. You're living in a society of a man that's not gonna live by no Ma'at, and you choose to live in a society by a man that's not gonna live by Ma'at. And then when there is no Ma'at, then there is chaos. Period. It's chaos. There ain't gonna be shit else but chaos. Okay? And so, we got to understand that right here. You see right here the Tahuti and Ma'at. You see right here Tahuti and Maat. Here's Maat with Tahuti, the god of wisdom, knowledge, language, and writing, showing her divine connection to wisdom. In the Bible, Maat is known as wisdom. If you go in Psalm, and they refer to wisdom in Psalm as her and she. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom is a feminine aspect of the universe. And so they understood. So when you go in Psalms and you look, and I might have something in here on that, that's the understanding of Maat, that she's also, because that's what law is founded on, wisdom, knowledge, there's writing and language. And so all of that is founded on truth and harmony. You see, and so you see again right here, Maat and Tahuti. Two of the most powerful. This is sacred wisdom, truth, and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And this is your ancestor. And so they didn't, why did they put the ibis up? Because of the long nose is symbolic of the pen, the stylus. And so he was the god of writing. And so not that they worshiped the damn, that they saw a symbolism in him. They didn't worship the bird, they worshiped the spirit, the symbolism. They venerated the symbolism in that ibis. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't go around bowing down to goddamn birds and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's their way of not trying to get to the deeper understanding. You see? So again, you see that this was, this was a standard, a divine standard all across the land. You see mass production of this understanding all across the land. So it wasn't just here and wasn't over there. It was all over Africa. African spiritual judicial system that guided the African spirit to salvation. That guided the African spirit to salvation. All right. Okay, and so again, you see the Anubis down there, you see Horus, they checking, they looking, they making sure that is even. You see the goddess Maat down there with the feather in her head. You understand what I'm saying? So your heart had to be weighed against the mother code. You understand? It had to be weighed against the mother code. That which gonna keep the mother and the child. You understand what I'm saying? In prosperity, health, and wealth. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the house, you just magnified it on a national scale. The spiritual supreme court administering divine law. And you see them two sisters right there. That's Isis and Nebhet, watching over, making sure everything is good. And making sure that the spirit, which is right here, getting a fair shake. Everybody rooting for it. You know what I'm saying? And really, in all the scrolls that have been shown, it never, as Dr. Ben taught me, never shown a spirit that did not make it. So most of the scrolls show that because usually you had to pay for your own scroll. So ain't nobody gonna have a scroll showing that they didn't make it into the afterlife. And you see the stylus with Tahuti. And so this is what the Freemasons call the trestle board. You understand what a Mason designed his life, in accordance with Maat. And so he's the court reporter. And he's recording the proceedings in case he got to pull it up. In the Bible it says what? A false balance is an abomination to the Lord. You see? And so this is a false balance. When you're looking at, that motherfucker is uneven. It's a false balance. So a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. That's Proverbs 11:1. Okay? Then you come down and then you see again, upholding the supreme law of the great mother. And so when the African goddess in the royal matriarchal bloodline come to the king, they're going to take oath. Are you going to uphold the laws that's going to keep the African woman and her child in prosperity and defense and protection, in health and wealth? Are you going to do that? And if he adheres to the oath, you understand what I'm saying? If he adheres to the blood oath and the African matriarchal system and bloodline, feel that he is, he's going to live up to his word, then they crown him. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to be crowned unless you take that oath. You understand? It's the mother code,